The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening, and welcome to Game 2 of our Girls Them Boys doubleheader on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 6-4 Colfax Vikings, who are 1-3 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, will try to bounce back as they take on the 6-5 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are also 1-3 in conference play. The Vikings are coming off a 69-57 loss at the hands of the Elk Mound Mounders last Thursday, while the Bulldogs are coming off a 65-48 win over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves also last Thursday. Now, this game is the rescheduled makeup game, which was originally scheduled for December 15th. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, Jay Fall and Dan Petchow will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, NLWN TV, and Viking TV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's second game of our doubleheader between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to bounce back following last Thursday's loss to the Elk Mound Mounders. In that game against the Mounders, the Vikings were led in scoring by 6'4" senior Jack Charlo, who hit 7 field goals, 3 of which were three-pointers, and went 1 for 4 from the free throw line for 19 points. He was followed by sophomore Aiden Fisher, who made 5 three-pointers and went 2 for 3 from the free throw line for 17 points. So far on the season, leading the way in scoring for the Vikings is Charlo, who's averaging nearly 19 points per game. He's followed by Elijah Ensminger, who's putting up over 16, and Nick Jensen, who's chipping in 8 points per game. The Boyceville Bulldogs come into tonight's game with a 6-5 record and, like the Vikings, hold a 1-3 record in the Dun St. Croix Conference following their 65-48 victory over the Elmwood Plum City Wolves last Thursday. The Bulldogs are being led by 6' senior Simon Evenson, and he's averaging right around 12 points per game, while 6' junior Devin Halama is scoring at a 10-point per game clip, and Grant Kaiser is putting up 9 points per game. Now on the boards, Halama and Kaiser lead the way, combining for around 14 rebounds per game. Coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking Boys head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. And Coach, Last Thursday, the Vikings suffered a hard-fought defeat at the hands of the Elk Mound Mounders. Your comments about that game?
I think it was obviously it didn't come out the way that we wanted it to. But with that said, we learned some things about ourselves. We saw some things that we can work on to keep improving and keep becoming a better team. I thought, we showed in the first half what we're capable of, only being down by 5 points at halftime, I think, something like that. And we had a sophomore step up, and Aiden Fisher and Jack Charlo and Elijah Insminger had a good first half. And with those things, I just think that there's some adjustments that we'll be able to make in the future that will help us.
Now, to my untrained eye, it seems as though sometimes a team runs into an opponent that simply can't miss a shot. And that seems to have been the case against the Mounders as they put up 14 three-pointers. What do you say to your players following a game like that to keep them from hanging their heads too low?
Well, I think, number one, yes, they hit 14 threes. We made 10 threes. There was 24 three-pointers made in that game. So they were a +4, right, which is still 12 points. But we, in our adjustments that we'll make in the future, we'll be able to make that adjustment, and they won't make those extra threes that they did in this game. So main thing is staying positive, keep believing in our system, keep believing in what we're teaching them, and positive things will happen.
Now, tonight, the Vikings take on the 6-5 Boyceville Bulldogs, who, like the Vikings, are 1-3 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs and what challenges do they present?
Well, they present, they've got a bunch of athletes on their team that play multiple sports. They're a team. I feel like overall we're going to be a little bit bigger than they are. Depth-wise, it'll be similar. Both teams will probably play close to 9 kids on both teams. I feel like we've got a nice team. The one thing that I will tell you about our conference record is that we played all 4 of our games on the road and all 4 against the top, 4 of the best teams in the conference.
So, yeah, things might balance out when you get some home cooking against those teams.
Yeah, we're looking forward to playing at home. Tonight will be our 4th home game of the season.
Yeah, in fact, I was just going to mention that tonight you are getting to finally play at home again as game 2, part of our girls then boys doubleheader, and that just about guarantees a pretty large crowd. How motivating is that for the guys to finally play at home in front of a large crowd?
Yeah, I think that helps. I think, I can remember being, 16, 17 years old and playing in front of a big crowd at Colfax and what that feels like and having that community support. So I'm sure the kids are all going to be appreciative of all those that can come to the game tonight and be there. Those that can't can come right on here and watch the game.
Very good. I couldn't have said that better myself. Well, Coach Noel, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can send all those fans home with smiles on their faces and a Viking victory in their pocket.
Hey, thank you very much. And I want to say that new red shirt looks good on you.
All right, great. Hey, red's the color of the day. So.
All right.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Welcome back to Viking pregame. The Vikings are looking to bounce back after their 69-51 loss to the Elk Mound Mounders on Thursday. On the other hand, the Bulldogs would like to defeat the Vikings for the first time since February 3rd of 2017. Now, both the Vikings and the Bulldogs would like to remain relevant in the Dunn St. Croix Conference race. So, the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 and NLWN TV and Viking TV. Now in just a moment, we'll send it back out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew is ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Vikings steal the pass. This is Charlo driving down the left side of the lane, puts it up. It goes in and he draws the harm.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 proudly present today's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
Down to Jensen and on the right baseline, puts it up and in. This is what you were talking about a couple days ago, Dan. Jensen's got to put those shots up, and he's doing it.
Join us as we head out to the gym for today's Viking basketball.
Oops. Hold on.
Boyceville.
Too hard to Nick Johnson comes up the rebound, fires it to Ensminger. Ensminger will set it up for the Vikings. Up high out on the left side, it goes to Blake Johnson. Shot goes up, no good, rebounded by Devin Halama. Driving up the center, it's Nick Olson. Olson out to free throw. There. It's just hard to hear. Back out on top to Mason Powell. Powell drives in, off the rebound, and Ensminger will bring it up the floor one-on-one, and he will be blocked by Devin Halama, the Bulldogs. 15:55 to go, first period. It's 3-0 Boyceville. Thanks for joining us for the second half of a girls-boys doubleheader in the first game that you saw here on the Webcasting Network. And the first points of the ball tonight go on for Viking Boys.
Yeah, it's just pain.
And the second one. Goes to Mason Powell. Just keep talking. And driving in on the left side, this, and up on the right side it goes up. And Peter Wielden is fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. There's that. Showed up on the scoreboard. 3-2 Boyceville.
I just did that.
That one. So on the free throw line is Peter Wielden. Wielden sends a second one skyward, and that one rolls off, or rolls in. So it's 4-2. Colfax in home white, and they are moving left to right as you look on. And the second one goes in as well, and it is 5-2 Boyceville. Colfax brings it up at the floor. It's Charlo to Ensminger. Down underneath to Jensen, back out top of the key now. Dishes it off on the right side to Irwin. And away from the ball, we have a foul. That's going to be charged to Nick Olson of the Bulldogs. Vikings to throw it in on the right side underneath their own basket. Up on top it goes to Jensen. Back to Irwin underneath to Jensen, and he is pushed by Boyceville's Peter Wielden. 3 fouls for the Bulldogs, 1 for the Vikings. 14:55 left first half. 5-2 Boyceville lead. Ball alley-ooped into Charlo. He puts it up and in. Vikings close the gap. Boyceville by 1. 5-4. Driving up. It is Caden Wold. Rolled out to Devin Halama, and an awesome block by Jack Charlo. Put a paw up there and knocked it out of bounds. Boyceville's going to try it again. Nick Olson's going to throw it in for the Bulldogs. Dishes it into Bowell. Bowell in the lane, flips it back out to Wold and puts it up and in. Colfax bringing it up the floor now. Irwin up high in the right wing. Give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger back out to Irwin. Has a clear shot at a 3 and makes it. We're tied at 7. 14-15 to go first half. Driving in for the Bulldogs. Wold tripled up on Waits. Goes up. No good. Fight for the rebound. Pulled out of there by Jack Charlo. Charlo up the floor to Ensminger. Ensminger caught corner of the lane. Down in the baseline. Goes back to Charlo. Up and in. Boyceville now trails Colfax as they take the lead. 9-7. Wold up on top. Gives it to Bow. Driving in then Olson. Olson near corner. He gets it underneath to Devin Halama. And Halama's fouled underneath by Jack Charlo. 9-7 Colfax. 13:37 to go first half. So Devin Halama, 6-foot junior guard, makes the first one. Other Boyceville starters are Mason Bowell, number 30, 6-foot senior forward. Peter Wielden, 6'1 junior forward, number 21. Caden Wold, 5'11 junior guard, number 10. And Nick Olson, 5'8 junior guard, number 4. Alano's second free throw goes in, and the Vikings up the floor. Ensminger misses a layup pulled off the Bulldogs. Bowell at the free throw line. His pass is deflected and is bounced right to one of the fans in row 1. So a host of Vikings come in. 13:19 to go first half. Tied at 9. Jay Fall, Dan Petchow with you. Chris Olson on the camera and executive producer Rick Olson looking on. Inbounds throw goes in to Mason Bowell. Bowell bounce passes it in the middle and Braden Remheld gets it. Pass it out to Wold, to Simon Evenson now in the ball game for Boyceville. And the ball is stolen away by the Vikings' Aiden Fisher. Fisher bringing it down, free throw line right. Mason Yarrington, top of the key for 3, hits the rim, rolls off, rebounded by Evenson of the Bulldogs. Quickly up the floor for Boyceville. Pass goes to Carson Remhill. And that three-point shot on the rebound missed. Simon Evenson tries to get it back out on top.
We got a foul on Yarrington.
That's Mason's first. 3 team fouls apiece. Out in the far corner goes to Caden Wold, who drains a 3 ball. 12-9 Boyceville. 12:40 to go first half. Evenson. Give and go to Yarrington for 3. Nails it! Mason Yarrington, the junior. Hits 3 for Colfax. We're tied at 12. Out of the backcourt, it's Caden Wold. Wolden tripped up. Going to have a foul charged to Aiden Fisher of the Vikings. 12:17 to go first half. We're tied at 12. No shots, so it's going to go underneath to the Bulldogs. Into the corner to Remhild. He'll drive, dish a pass out to Evenson. Evenson to Wold, lets it fly from three land, pulled off by the Bulldogs. Remhild, he'll give it out to Evenson, shot missed, and the rebound pulled out of there by Mitch Medine. Or check that, that's Hayden Fisher. Fisher out to Yarrington, three again, hammers it! 15-12 Colfax. 11:45 to go first half. Pass goes out on top to Bowell. Bowell looking underneath. He'll dish it back to Remhill, top of the key. Remhill to Wold. Boyceville looking for a seam. Toss back to Evenson. Evenson to Wold. Back out to Evenson. Evenson drives the lane, and he is fouled by Colfax's Colton Hoff. That is going to send Simon Evenson to the free throw line. First shot up and in. 11:09 remaining first half. It's Colfax 15, Boyceville 13. Evenson, a 6-foot senior, getting his shoe tied. And gets a signal from the ref for one more. Sends it up, hits it. Nick Olson will check back into the game for the Bulldogs. Colfax a 1-point lead as they bring it up the floor. It's Medine. Medine give and go to Yarrington, back out to Yarrington, top of the key. He'll dribble it out far side, bring it to the right, give and go back to Medine. Medine looks at the three ball, back to Yarrington. Yarrington, back to Medine. To Yarrington over on the left side to Hoffman. Hoffman makes a pass, nobody there.
Yeah, if you're going to make that move, which Aiden Fisher did have the back door, but he's got to finish that.
Caden Wold's going to throw it in for the Bulldogs. Finds Nick Olson. And Boyceville, nice and easy out of the backcourt. Up top to Wold. Back to the circle to Halama. Back to Wold. He's at the free throw line and extended to the left. To Nick Olson from the other side. Up from the free throw, deflected. Rebound by Jack Charlo. Charlo to Blake Johnson. Miss. Charlo's going to go for back up. That one is tipped, and it's rebounded by the Bulldogs. Olson up high. Pass down to Remhill. Remhill out to Olson. Olson to Wold, and Wold for three. Boyceville goes back into the lead. 17-15 over Colfax. 9:40 left first half. On the right side it goes Irwin, give and go to Ensminger. Ensminger loses the ball at the free throw line. He'll dish it back down underneath. Wide open is Nick Jensen, who puts in the shot underneath on the left. We're tied at 17. Bulldogs bring it up the floor. It's Wold. Over to Halama. He'll come out of the corner, pass it to Remhild. Back over to Olson on the near side. He's doubled up on, and we're going to have a foul called in trying to get that ball away. They're going to say that Ensminger got a little rough. Olsen will throw it in for the Bulldogs. Into Halama, he'll put it up in the baseline, miss, but under there for the reload is Phillips. Makes the basket and is fouled. (1917) Boyceville as Jack Phillips on the free throw line. First shot, good. 2017 Boyceville. Give and go to Johnson. We'll slip it back to Ensminger. He'll drive into the lane. Caught up, goes outside to Medine on the left side. He'll dribble in and come out. Ensminger pulls up corner of the lane, shot deflected, but it goes right over to Johnson, or Charlo. That over to Medine. Medine from the parking lot, missed, but Charlo there again to put up the rebound. Him from the corner gets it across the Ensminger. Ensminger on the baseline from 7, hits it. 2019, Boyceville with a 1-point lead over Colfax. As Wold for the Bulldogs gets it into, it looks like Owen Rydell, or check that, that's Jack Phillips. Very physical game so far. Driving in, it's Ensminger. Ensminger to Jensen. Jensen dribbles, tosses it back out to Medine. Ensminger. Ensminger dribbles in, drives out, and ball is taken from him by Chase Hollister, and he puts it in for the layup. Ensminger lost his focus for a bit there, and right there to grab it was Hollister. And he took it to the other end, 22-19 Boyceville. Give and go to Charlo. Charlo tied up. Charlo out to Medine. Medine to Johnson. Give and go out to Ensminger. Top of the key for 3. We're tied again, 22 all, 7:18 left to go first half. Boyceville will bring it up the floor now. Jack Phillips near the half-court line, tosses it back to Nick Olsen. Olsen out to Wold, down in the near corner to Phillips. Phillips for 3, no good. Ball tipped, rebound by Olsen of Boyceville. Back underneath, that shot missed. And coming down with it for Colfax is Jack Charlo. And he's fouled as he comes down with it. .6:53 to go first half. We're tied at 22. Boyceville and Colfax in Dun St. Croix conference action. This was a game rescheduled from December in one of those snowy nights. Jensen at the free throw line turn, gives it back to Ensminger. Ensminger top of the key for 3, drains it. 25-22 Colfax. 6:35 to go first half. Driving it up the floor, it goes to Wold of Boyceville. He'll pull up for 3. Hits the iron. Nick Jensen pulls it down for Colfax, gives it to Johnson. Johnson drives it up the floor, back to Jensen. Jensen looks around. He's going to go in between the two of them, dishes it back to Medine. Medine for 3! 28-22 Colfax. Coming up on the 6-minute mark as Caden Wold brings up the floor for Boyceville. Wold to Olsen, back down in the near corner to Phillips. Phillips bounce passes it to Olsen. Olsen doubled up in the corner by the Vikings, and a timeout on the floor called by Boyceville. 5:53 to go first half. It's Colfax 28, Boyceville 22. You're watching Colfax Vikings boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Welcome back to Colfax. We got a good one going here. The Colfax Vikings are out in front of the Boyceville Bulldogs. A couple of three-point shots. Boyceville to throw it in. Noel Olsen into Evenson. Mason Bowell now drives in right side, pops it up. No, doesn't go. Rebounded by Devin Halama. He'll put it back up and in. 28-24 Colfax. As the Vikings bring it up the floor. Jack Charlo crosses the center, jump circle. Out to Ensminger. Ensminger to Jensen. Jensen to Charlo, down underneath, turnaround jumper, Ensminger falls short, rebounded by Wold. Wold to Evenson for the Bulldogs. And that pass doesn't get there. Jack Charlo gets in between, takes it coast to coast. They're going to cancel the shot. Okay, let's see. That's going to be charged to Simon Evenson of Boyceville. And both coaches trying to have conversation with the official there on the sideline. So timeout on the floor. We'll take one too. 5:08 to go first half, 28-24. Colfax out in front. You're watching Colfax Vikings boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Welcome back. Colfax is going to bring the ball out from underneath their basket. They'll toss it out to Mitch Medine. Mitch Medine to Jensen, back out to Johnson. Johnson up from 12. That shot falls short, but Charlo there for the rebound. Turnaround up from 8. Gets his own rebound again. Charlo back up and in. And Charlo will... Looks like he's going to get a three-point play on that one. That foul's going to be charged to Devin Halama. So Jack Charlo gets a free throw in this. Colfax goes up by 6. 4:52 to go first half. Charlo sends it up. Shot falls short, rebounded by Peter Wilden. Wold will bring up the floor for Boyceville. Wold out to Bremhild. Back down underneath to Bowell. Bowell dribbles. Back out. Side to Mason Bowell. And stolen away by Charlo. Charlo driving up. Right to left layup. Colfax up by a 32-24 margin. Drive it in, Wold. Out on the near side to Olsen. Olsen back out on top to Bowell. Outside for three, Remheld, shot missed. Rebounded by Wielden of the Bulldogs. Ball fired out to Wold, then back down to Olsen on the near corner. Wielden down underneath, he'll dish it off to Bowell. Bowell right side of the lane, forcing it up. Doesn't go, struggle for the rebound, getting over there to get it, Olsen. Olsen back out on top to Bowell. Bowell left fairly open but didn't take the shot. Out to Wold. Wielden off the glass and in from 16. 32-24 Colfax. Just under 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Ensminger with the ball. Gets it around to Hoffman. Down inside to Charlo. Charlo doubled up on, still puts it in. Jack Charlo shining when he's got guys all over him. Driving in for the Bulldogs, Nick Olsen. Olsen going in for a layup on the left side. And it looks like Olsen caught one in the eye. .303 to go first period, first half. Nick Olsen still trying to clear his eye out. Going to take some time and gets up to the free throw line. Quiet Jim, first one up and in. 34-27 Colfax. The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV are excited to once again be your home for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Second shot goes in as well. We're now at the 3-minute mark in the first half. As Ensminger driving it on the left side. Stops. Ball knocked away, gets it back in control, looks at a three ball, pops it up from the free throw line, and that air balls, but then the ball tapped back out onto the court. It goes to Nick Olsen of Boyceville. Olsen's going to try to push his way down there. We're going to have a player control foul called on Nick Olsen. .34-28. Colfax with a 6-point lead. 2:36 to go in the first half. Gonna wait for things to settle down a bit. And Mason Yarrington's gonna throw it in for the Vikings. Into Fisher. Fisher driving along the right side, pops it up off the glass, good! Colfax back up by 8. Bulldogs bring it out. Simon Evenson in the backcourt. Evenson dishes it back to Wold. Wold moving right to left, pops it up from 8. Whoa! Jack Charlo pounded that thing out of bounds. Wold is going to throw it in for Boyceville. He gets it into Phillips. Phillips guarded by Yarrington. Phillips looking to get rid of it somehow. Bounce it down inside to Hollister. Shot goes up, missed. Goes out of bounds off Boyceville and out into the hallway. Colfax will bring it out of there. So Colfax will bring it up the floor. It's Ensminger. Elijah crosses the C in the center. Drives right side up, puts it up, and draws a foul. So on the free throw line is Elijah Ensminger. Our halftime player profile will be Ashton Greenwell, so we hope you'll stay tuned for that. First shot, up and in. This has been probably the most physical outing the Colfax Viking boys have had so far this year.
Yeah, their defense has really stepped up tonight.
Second free throw by Ensminger, bounces up big, rebounded by Hollister. Up the floor goes to Phillips. Then out to Evenson. Evenson for three, drains it. 37-31, Colfax by 6. Coming up on a minute and a half left in the first half. Nick Olson, or check that, that's Fisher. To Yarrington, back to Fisher. He'll drive down the right side of the lane, pop it up off the glass, doesn't go, rebounded by Peter Wilden. Caden Wold for the Bulldogs, bringing it up to Stevenson, down to Hollister. Scoop pass back to Phillips. Phillips driving the lane, scoop it up and in. And the pass in, stolen by Caden Wold of the Bulldogs. Out to Peter Wilden. To Wold, give and go up high on the right. 45 seconds left, top of the key, three-pointer goes up. And rebound pulled down there by Charlo. Charlo gets it to Ensminger. Ensminger across the center jumper out to Yarrington. Yarrington, three-pointer, good! 40-33, Colfax, 25 seconds left. First half. Caden Wold for Boyceville. Tosses over to Jack Phillips. Stevenson down on the left side. Stevenson brings it toward the lane outside to an open Hollister. Hollister up from 8. He puts the basket in and is fouled from behind by Colton Hoffman. 8.6 seconds to go first half. Both teams in the bonus, 8 fouls apiece, 40-33. Colfax with a 7-point lead. So the officials explaining, we got one free throw. It's Hollister just put in the bucket. And bangs that one off the glass and in. 40-36, Colfax lead cut down to 4. Only 5 seconds left. Driving it across to Ensminger. Going to take it himself. He'll pop it up from the sidelines as the first half comes to an end in this Dunn St. Croix battle. So at halftime it is Colfax 40, Boyceville 36. We invite you now to stay tuned for Viking halftime. You're tuned to Viking Boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Ashton Greenwell, who's a senior here at Colfax High School. And Ashton, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
Yes, I play football and I power lift and I play baseball.
Okay, what do you do in baseball?
I play first base and I pitch.
All right, how's your curveball?
Not very good.
Still working on it, right? Yeah. Work in progress. All right. What's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Well, I didn't play for my sophomore and junior year because I just did powerlifting, but now I do powerlifting and basketball this year. But when I played my freshman year, it was a lot of leadership and knowing the plays.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you have to have it kind of back there so it's automatic, and you don't have time to think about it out there. You just have to react.
Yep.
Okay. So when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I hunt a lot and fish. Them are my main ones.
Okay. All right. Couple rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Favorite flavor?
Rocky Road.
Oh, yeah, lots of good stuff there. Yep. Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
Is there a reason for that?
No.
Just a nice color, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If Ashton could have a superpower, what do you think that would be and why?
Super speed, because I'm not fast normally. So,
okay. Yeah. Make up for what you're lacking.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if Ashton has this superpower of speed, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. What do you think that might be?
The Green Flash.
The Green Flash. All right. So Ashton Greenwell is the Green Flash. All right. I think we got that. All right. Favorite NBA team?
The Bucks.
They're green too.
Yep.
Okay. And your favorite collegiate team?
Wisconsin.
They're not green.
No, they are not.
All right. Is there a basketball player throughout the years at any level of the game who's kind of inspired the way you play your game?
I usually don't really watch basketball because I'm a football guy, but, you know.
Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. It can be just the game in and of itself. That we're talking with Ashton Greenwell today on Viking Profile. And Ashton, what are your plans for after high school?
I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm thinking about going to like an engineering field after high school. But
okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Hi, Mom and Dad, and Abby and Aaron.
Okay. And when people come to watch Viking games, what number do you wear, and where are they going to find you on the floor?
I wear number 50, and I'm going to be a guard.
Okay. All right. We want to thank Ashton Greenwell for joining us today on Viking Profile. And coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular.
Welcome back to Colfax. A few minutes left in halftime here. Our halftime score is 40-36 Colfax. And Dan, we got some interesting numbers to look at here in a very physical ball game.
Yeah. Turn my mic on.
Oh, there, we're going to hear you now.
Here's the leader or scores for Boyceville right now. Their leading scorer is number 10, Caden Wold with 10, followed by Chase Hollister with 7. We have Simon Evenson with 5, Nick Olson with 5, Peter Wheeldon with 4, Jack Phillips with 3, and Devin Halama with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led by number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He's got 11 points, followed by Jack Shallow with 10. Mason Yerrington's got 9. Mitch Medine's got 3. Kyle Irwin's got 3. Aiden Fisher's got 2, and Nick Jensen's got 2.
One of the interesting things you pointed out was the Bulldogs, and as far as their free throw shooting.
Yeah, you know, Boyceville's done a good job of getting underneath, getting to the line, and they are 10 for 10 from the free throw line. And they've kept Colfax off the line. They've only been to the line twice. They're 1 for 3.
Okay. Well, we hope that you'll tune right back in here tomorrow night on NLW2 and the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Vikings boys will be hosting the Elmwood Plum City Wolves tomorrow night. Viking pregame begins at 6:50 p.m. with live play-by-play action following. And then NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network Thursday night will have the Colfax girls back in action. They will play host to the Mondovi Buffaloes. Again, live coverage begins with Vikings pregame at 6:50, followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax basketball. More coming this week here on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. We'll be back with the second half after this.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Welcome back to Colfax. Another great rivalry game in the Dun St. Croix here. The Boyceville Bulldogs here at Colfax. Vikings already back on the floor. They are in home white. And this time they'll be defending the basket to the left. So they'll be moving right to left as you're looking on. Oh, and happy birthday to number 15, Mason Yarrington. So he is celebrating his birthday with draining a couple threes.
Yeah, and he's already got 3 threes. 9 points.
So Nick Olson is going to throw it in for Boyceville. Throws it in to Caden Wold, and we are underway in the second half. Wold up on the top of the key to Wheeldon. Back out to Olson. Back out to Remhild. Runs into a wall named Nick Jensen. Down underneath to Wheeldon. Wheeldon pops it up and in. 40-36, or 40-38, Colfax. 17-33 to go in the second half. Over on the far side for the Vikings, Ensminger. Back and forth with Charlo. Ensminger's going to direct some traffic. Gives it back to Charlo. Charlo drives left side of the lane, pops it up from 10, makes it! 42-38 Vikings. The floor, it is Wold, stolen away by the Vikings, getting it back, Johnson Ensminger, 12-footer, rolls off into the hands of Nick Jensen. He'll dribble it once, and then it's stolen away by Devin Halama. Halama back to Nick Olson, to Mason Bowell, and he'll dish it off in the corner to Halama for 3. Bounces off big, rebounded by Wheeldon. Wilden out to Wold. Wold for three. That one bounces off big. Rebound by Bowell. And a struggle for the ball between Bowell and Irwin. It's going to be possession Colfax. So Ensminger getting up and getting down to the other end. Johnson gives it to Irwin. He'll bring it out of the backcourt for the Vikings. Irwin dribbles off to the right wing, the far side. To Ensminger, top of the key for three, hits the rim, and it's rebounded by Wold for the Bulldogs. Wold drives to the right, gets it off to Halama. Halama driving the baseline. That rolls around and out, but coming up with the rebound, Wielden. Wielden trying to get around Hoffman. Dumps it back to Nick Olson. He gets caught underneath the basket. Back out to the far corner to Halama. He goes over the top with it, and it's rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger lets it go from three-point land. Bounces out, but rebounded by Hoffman. Hoffman down underneath. Hoffman dishes it back out on top to Irwin. Irwin pops it up from 8. That one doesn't go. It's rebounded by Charlo. Charlo pushed to the floors. Ball stolen by Wielden. And finally in there, we have a foul. And it's going to be charged to Elijah Ensminger. That's his second. Boyceville get the ball back. That's the first foul of the second half. 15 and a half minutes to go second half. It's Colfax 42, Boyceville 38. Wold, free throw line left. Back to Bowell. Bowell, top of the key. Dribbles it to the right side of the lane. He'll dish it back to Wold, back out to Olson. Olson to Bowell. Halama brings it out of the corner. Nick Olson then picks it up from Halama. Dish back in the far corner to Bowell. To Wold. Bulldogs keeping it over on the far side. Bowell, top of the key. Going to move down the right side of the lane. He'll make a move toward it. He's got to go over Hoffman. Shot missed. Rebounded by Colfax's Kyle Irwin. Irwin to Ensminger. Fires it down underneath at Charlo. Charlo back out to Ensminger. Ensminger, free throw line to left. We'll give it to Irwin. And then back out to Johnson. And Colfax takes a timeout. 14:29 remaining second half. It's Colfax 42, Boyceville 38. You're tuned to Viking Boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Colfax. 14:29 remaining second half. Eau Claire has a new semi-pro football team. The Eau Claire Cowboys and NLWN2, along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network, are excited to be your broadcast home. Follow the Eau Claire Cowboys throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Irwin out to Ensminger. Rolls off his leg, but Johnson there to pick it up. Johnson pops it up from 16, bounces around, rebound back up by Charlo. Charlo gets it in and is fouled.
14 points for Jack Charlo tonight.
And he'll have a chance to add one more. 44-38. Colfax leading Boyceville and Dunn St. Croix Conference boys basketball. Jay Fall, Dan Petchall with you. Chris Olson on the camera and executive producer Rick Olson. Coming to you live from Colfax. Charlo finishes off the three-point play. He has 15 of Colfax's 45 points. Colfax full court pressure on the Bulldogs. Caden Wold helps them break it. Up the floor it goes to Jack Phillips. And a pass goes out intended for Brandon Remhild, and he can't get back to get it. 14 minutes left in the second half. Colfax by 7. Irwin to Johnson. Johnson flips it back out to Ensminger. Up on the far wing, 20-footer, bounces out big, rebounded by Mason Bowell. Nick Olson across the center, jump circle. Goes out to Wold. Wold back down to the far corner to Hollister. Hollister, give and go to Olson, top of the key. To Wold. Vikings in the man-to-man. Remhild. Give and go to Hollister. Nearly stolen by Colfax. Peter Wilden gets it back, puts it up, misses, rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger down to the far corner, fires a hard pass to Irwin. All the way up the floor it goes to Charlo. Charlo on the baseline, tries to go up with a couple of Bulldogs there. Ball stolen away, they get the ball down to Caden Wold. He puts it up too hard, rebounded by Colfax. And managing to get it is Blake Johnson. Johnson up the floor to Ensminger. Ensminger to Irwin. They're going to take a little breather here and try to get things settled down. Ensminger drives, pops it up from 14. Shot falls short, rebounded by Charlo. Charlo doubled up. He's going to go up, and he is fouled by Chase Hollister. Nope, I think they're going to say that was Peter Wilden. So Jack Charlo is going to shoot two. 12 and a half minutes to go, second half. Colfax with a 7-point lead. Now 8. Tomorrow night, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves are here, and we will be here with the Colfax boys. 6:50 for Viking pregame, followed by live play-by-play action. That one rolls out, and it's rebounded by the Bulldogs' Chase Hollister. Hollister to Wielden. Down underneath is Brandon Remhild. He gets too far under the basket. And it looks like Ensminger was in contact with the ball as he hit the end line, so the Bulldogs are going to keep it. Olson holding it high for Boyceville underneath their own basket. Getting the count, gets it into Remhild in the near corner, gets it then to Hollister. Back to Remhild. He'll dish it off in the lane to Wielden. Wielden will go up, and it's blocked by Charlo. Rolls around the top, and then finally Nick Jensen gets a loose ball. Jensen to Irwin. Irwin out on the far side. Hands it off, give and go to Johnson. Johnson pops it up from 9, too hard. Jensen gets a hand on it, but it rolls into the hands of Braden Remhild. To Wold. Wold gets it back from Hollister. Hollister down to the deep corner. Take a quick look and give it back to Wold. Now they'll move it to the near side. Olson, top of the key, driving, gives it back to Hollister. Hollister out to Wold. Wold to Remhild, down underneath on the baseline to Hollister. Hollister to Wielden. He'll put a turnaround jumper up, but it's missed. And Jack Charlo there with the rebound. And reaching in, Peter Wielden. And a timeout on the floor. 11:07 to go, second half. Colfax 46, Boyceville 38. You're tuned to Viking Boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Well, team's back after a quick timeout. Colfax leading Boyceville by 8 at 11:07 to go, second half. Jay Fall, Dan Petchaw with you, Chris Olson on the camera, and executive producer Rick Olson along. Out of the backcourt, Ensminger. Ensminger out to Yarrington. Yarrington driving the left side, tries to get a pass. It's deflected, but Medine comes back and picks it up. Medine's going to go on to the left side to Ensminger. Ensminger for three, rolls off. Yarrington gets the rebound. He'll bounce it back out on top to Medine on the far side. Medine will bring it into the middle, now to the left, into the middle to Hoffman. Back down to the outside to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Yarrington, rolls off his front, but Ensminger there. And Ensminger keeping it high on top, give and go to Medine. Medine out to Yarrington, top of the key for three, miss. Rebounded, nearly rebounded by Charlo, but Simon Evenson will pick it up for the Bulldogs. Evenson now will take it from the top of the key. That shot falls short, and it's rebounded by Ensminger. Ensminger, 1-on-2, will pop it up from the baseline, missed, and it's rebounded by Peter Wielden. And we will have a foul charge to Colton Hoffman.
Yeah, that's his fourth.
Ooh. So he's going to come to the side, take a break. He's probably the one in the biggest foul trouble for Colfax, right? Everybody else a foul or two.
Yeah, Nick Jensen doesn't have any yet.
All right. Out of the backcourt, it is Olson. Olson up high on the left side. Pass off to Jack Phillips. Phillips over to Halama, down to the far corner to Olson. Olson drives in, pops it up too hard off the glass, but rebounded by Wielden. Wielden back up, and Jensen pulls it down for Colfax. Jensen to Medine. Medine down to the corner, wide open. Yarrington bangs around, no good. Rebounded by Charlo. And Charlo hammered on down underneath. That foul is going to be number 4 on Chase No, check that. Peter Wielden, number 4 as far as fouls go. Bulldogs have 4 fouls in this half. Inbound throw goes in. Ensminger looks at one. Dribbles, gets it back to Yarrington. To Ensminger, they're over on the far side. And a timeout called by Colfax. 9:15 to go, second half. Colfax 46, Boyceville 38. You're tuned to Viking Boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Join us on NLWN2 for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came here for.
Our next game will be on Tuesday, January 17th, when the Vikings play host to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Tuesday, January 17th.
Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network Thursday night as the Viking girls play host to the Mondovi Buffaloes in a Dunn St. Croix Conference battle. Live coverage will begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50 p.m., and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball Thursday night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Colfax getting the ball back. Yerington throws it into Medine. Medine, free throw line right. Top of the wheel, lets it go to Ensminger on the left side. Ensminger out to Yerington. Yerington pulls back. Gives it back to Medine near half court. Boyceville also using man-to-man defense. Ensminger from the parking lot. Three-pointer, 49-38, Colfax by 11. Boyceville with the ball. Evenson looked at one, then he's going to pass it over to Jack Phillips. Phillips puts in a layup on the left side. And so Evenson, or check that's Medine to Ensminger. Ensminger to Yerington. He'll dribble it between the drop circle and the key. Ensminger looks at a three-pointer. Passes to his left to Medine. Yerington over on the far side goes to Medine. Medine, free throw line extended. Back to Yerington. Yerington in the corner to Jensen. Jensen back to Yerington. Ball slips away from him, stolen away by Simon Evenson. He puts in a layup for two. (49-42). Colfax lead cut to 7. Quickly up the floor, it's Medine. He's between the jump circle and the key. Medine to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Medine. Free throw line left. Medine drives toward the baseline, tosses it back out to Charlo. Charlo goes up, off the glass too hard, gets his own rebound, goes up again, and he's going to just keep going up and dishes it out to Medine. Medine outside the circle for three! Colfax 52, Boyceville 42. Bulldogs with the ball. Simon Evenson. Give and go out to Mowell. Mowell out to Phillips. To Wold. Wold up from 10. Shot missed. All kinds of Colfax Vikings hands up there. Ball's knocked out of bounds. And it's awarded to the Vikings. Medine throws it into Jensen. Back to Medine. Medine being guarded by two of Boyceville. Simon Evenson. To Irwin. Irwin back to Medine. Medine back Irwin on the left side. Medine rolls it back out to an open Fisher. His three-point shot missed. Jack Charlo back out to Fisher. Fisher back out on top to Medine. Medine dishes it to Jensen. Jensen will give it back to Irwin. Irwin bounces it back to Fisher. Keeping it out on top. Over to Medine near the mid-stripe, far side. Medine pops it up from 11. Shot falls short. Rebounded by Wold. Wold dribbling it around his back between his legs. And then dishes it off to Phillips. Phillips to Evenson. Evenson lets it fly. Doesn't go. Rebounded by Jack Charlo. Trying to steal it back. Covering up the ball. Wold underneath. And we're going to have a traveling call. .5:20 to go, second half. Colfax by 10 over Boyceville, 52-42. Jensen. Over to Medine. Bringing it up the floor. Now they cross that timeline. Medine out to Irwin. Irwin dishes it back to Jensen. Up and puts in a layup and fouled. 4 points for Jensen, but 54 for the Vikings. Come out on 5 minutes to go second half. Colfax with a 12-point lead. Second one goes in. 55-42, Colfax. Irwin goes to the sideline. Caden Wold dribbles across the timeline. He'll dump it off to Nick Olson. Olson doubled up on. Back to Wold. Wold. Back to Olson. Olson drives in traffic. Misses a layup. Rebounded by Jensen. Jensen back out to Fisher. Fisher crosses the 10-second line. Fisher goes up. Misses the shot. Charlo's going to go up and in. And the foul's going to be on Chase Hollister. That is his third.
Charlotte's got 18.
Another banner night for Jack Charlo. Shot missed, and it goes right into the hands of Nick Olson of Boyceville. Check that, and the shot stolen away by Boyceville, or Colfax's Charlo. Down underneath, Ensminger goes up, miss, reload, up and in for Fisher. And I got to correct that. The last foul went on Halama, and that is his fourth. For Boyceville, ball goes loose, heads out of bounds, and Boyceville's going to keep it. Both of these teams very similar records going into this one. Both 1-3 in the conference. Boyceville 6-5, Colfax 6-4. Inbounds throw goes into Wold. Wold to Evenson. Drives around the arch, misses the shot, and rebounded by Medina of the Vikings. Medina across the timeline. Down the floor to Fisher. Fisher for three, swishes it. Colfax an 18-point lead. Driving up the floor with it for Colfax is Caden Wold, and he is going to be fouled by Mitch Medine. That's his second. It's only the third team foul by Colfax. So that will give the ball to Boyceville underneath their own basket. Way out on top, pass goes out to Remhild. Remhild between the jump circle and the key goes to Wold. Down in the near corner to Evenson for three. And the Bulldogs want a full timeout. 3:27 remains second half. It's Colfax 60, Boyceville 45. You're tuned to Viking Boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Thursday, January 19th, when the Vikings will host the Mondovi Buffaloes. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Thursday, January 19th.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
3:27 left, second half. Colfax throwing in the ball from the Boyceville end. Full court pressure set up. Baseball pass down to the end. They gets Ensminger. Ensminger, as he heads out of bounds, puts that in and draws a foul. Wish we had instant replay. That would have been fun to see again. Oh, Chris Olson there to help out, you know. Elijah Ensminger to finish off a three-point play. Bounces out. Rebounded by Hoffman. Hoffman trying to protect the ball. And it's stolen out of there by Simon Evenson. Evenson passes it out to Wold, and Wold puts it in on the baseline from 8. Inbounds throw for Colfax goes into Ensminger, doubled up on. He'll get it out to Fisher. Fisher across the timeline shoots a pass to Medine. Medine caught in the corner. He'll get it back out to Fisher. Underneath to Jensen, bounces around a little bit, but there's White to pick that ball up, and Hoffman puts it up, misses. Jensen again. Jensen one more time gets it. Up the floor, it's Wold. Wold down in the far corner to Evenson. He'll put it up to the baseline. Rolls out, Jensen with a rebound. Puts it out in front of Ensminger. Layup right side, missed. Rebounded by Fisher. Fisher puts it in. Colfax 68, Boyceville 47. In the corner it goes to Olson and into Brandon Remheld. He'll put in the basket. And we have another timeout on the floor. 2:06 remains in the ball game. It's Colfax 68, Boyceville 49. You're watching Boyceville Boys Basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean, fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule. Join us on NLWN2 for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Tuesday, January 17th, when the Vikings play host to the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Tuesday, January 17th.
Welcome back to the home of the Colfax Vikings. Get that all cleared up. Ball stolen away by the Boyceville Bulldogs. Nick Olson, he'll get it back into Peter Wilden. And then back outside to Halama. Bounces off the rim. Rebound pulled out of there by Aiden Fisher. Scurry on the floor, and Ensminger will pull it out of there for Colfax. Ensminger down on the far side. Ensminger back to Fisher. Fisher for three. Catches the front iron. Rebounded by Corbin Krenz. Jack Phillips up the floor, stolen back by Medine for Colfax. Medine gets a bounce pass back from Ensminger. Medine will put it up, falling away, miss, and it's rebounded by Boyceville. Devin Halama. And a foul's going to be called on Jack Phillips of the Bulldogs. That is Boyceville's seventh foul, so, well, wait a minute. I'm confused, which is fairly easy to do. Okay, it looks like we just have a violation, and the ball's going back to Boyceville. I mean, nothing pop up on the fouls. Oh, now it does. Okay, so the foul is on Ben Charlo. Coming out of the backcourt with it is Jack Phillips. Phillips free throw line left, dishes it out to Krenz. Krenz nearly loses it. He'll hand it back to Phillips. Phillips out in the corner goes to Wielden. Wielden lets her fly, and it's rebounded by Logan Schwartz of the Vikings. Schwartz dribbling between two Bulldogs. Pops it up off the glass. No good. Schwartz going up with his own rebound. He'll toss it back out on top and can't get it to Fisher, or Fisher can't get it pulled in. So Boyceville will get it back. We've got 54.6 seconds left in the second half. And Jack Phillips driving up for the Bulldogs. He's going to be fouled on the way up, so he's going to go to the free throw line. Colfax 68, Boyceville 49. Foul's going to be charged to Ashton Greenwell, our Viking Profile halftime guest. Into the game and on the board with a foul. Phillips with another free throw attempt for Boyceville, makes it 68-50. As the Vikings bring it up the floor nice and easy. Aiden Fisher. Fisher to Ben Charlo, down on the baseline, in and out for Eli Ralph. Ball gets loose, and a scuffle for it. It will be possession Boyceville on the jump. Tomorrow night, Viking Boys will be here hosting the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Viking pregame 6:50. Live play-by-play action follows. Krenz caught on the baseline, gets it back out to a gentleman we don't have a name for, number 50 for Boyceville. Back outside to Phillips. Phillips having trouble on the handle of the ball. Get it back to Wielden. Back to Phillips. Phillips trying to pass it, finds nobody there to pass it to. But it was tipped off one of the Vikings. Just under 5 seconds left. Into Devin Halama. He'll let it fly for three. Tipped around, and that is the end of tonight's ball game. The Colfax Vikings defeat the Boyceville Bulldogs by a score of 68-50. We invite you now to stay tuned for Viking postgame, where we'll have a summary of the scoring and hopefully a conversation with Mark Knoll, the head coach of the Vikings. You've been watching Colfax Viking boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Colfax Viking Boys game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are, they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Mark Knoll, the head coach of the Vikings, is with us on our postgame show. And you mentioned when you came up here, one of the things that we mentioned at halftime, you've been in some physical contests. This was a very physical one.
That was a straight-up knockouts. You know what I mean? It was almost like, no fouls. Like, if you go out to the park, that's what it felt like. And that's no offense to the officials, right? Because they allowed it to be that way, which is fine. Because we tell our kids every game to adjust to how it's being called. So if they're calling it tight, you got to adjust. If they're calling it loose, you got to adjust. So it's so important that you don't get caught off guard when something like that happens. And I think our kids realized at halftime how physical it was, so they picked up their level of intensity.
Yeah, and the shooting was very good for your team as well.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we did a good job of having good balance, having a lot of kids off the bench make some shots too. I mean, I know that, for example, Fisher came off, hit a couple threes. Mason hit some threes. Mitch came off, hit some threes. So it was nice that we had other guys stepping up and making those shots, because when teams try to focus on Jack or Elijah, other people are going to get wide open shots.
And your guys certainly were not afraid to get in there and get physical and rebound.
Yes, it was a fun game. I'm telling you right now, if you ask the kids, they would tell you that was fun, because they enjoy that. So I'm happy with the boys that they came out and win, that we're 4-0 at home now this year. So tomorrow's our chance to go to 5-0 at home. And so that's where our goals that we're shooting for.
What do you expect tomorrow night when the Elmwood Plum City Wolves come here?
That's a team that's hungry. They're hungry to get a win. And it's going to be a scrappy team. They're going to be maybe a little unconventional in how they play a little bit, but they're a well-coached team. They're going to come in here and compete really hard.
Well, Mark, thanks for talking with us again. Congratulations on a great win and undefeated at home. Keep it rolling tomorrow.
Thank you, and everyone at home, thank you for watching.
Okay. Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Viking Boys. And the final score was 68-50. We will take a break and come back with a tale of the tape, the numbers. We'll do that. You're watching Colfax Vikings boys basketball on the outlets of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker hordes.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Welcome back to Colfax. So a split for the Vikings here at home. The Colfax girls dropped a game to Prairie Farm. They played earlier, but right before this one. But the boys win 68-50 and take their record up to 7-4 on the season, 2-3 in the league. And how did they get there?
Yeah, here's the scores for Boyceville tonight. They're led by two players, Simon Evenson and Caden Wold. They both had 10, followed by Peter Whelan with 6, Jack Phillips with 6, Nick Olson with 5, and Devin Halama and Braden Romhild with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led by number 12, Jack Charlo. He had 18, followed by Mason Yerrickson with 9. We had Nick Jensen with 7. Elijah Ensminger, I forgot about you, sir. You had 16. Yeah, that's a lot. Just forgot to write one part down. Mitch Medina had 6. Kyle Irwin had 3. And Aiden Fisher had 2.
So the Vikings come out on the top of a very physical battle.
Yeah, that was pretty tough down low. Good job by the bigs tonight. Jensen, Charlo, and Colton Hoffman to hold off that Boyceville offense.
And so we've got a lot of action for you coming up this week yet. Tomorrow night, as we mentioned, Elmwood Plum City here. And then Thursday night, the girls take on the Mondovi Buffaloes, and that's here. That's Thursday night. That's starting at 6:50 for both of them with the Viking pregame. The girls on NLWN TV, and the boys on NLWN2. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's technology IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound, plus they're healthy. So be sure to thank these fine sponsors by stopping in and doing some business with them soon. And we also have boys action Friday night at Boyceville. So Glenwood City. All right. And again, 6:50 for Viking pregame and play-by-play following that. So for Dan Petchaw and cameraman Chris Olson and executive producer Rick Olson, I'm Jay Fall. Thanks a lot for joining us. Have a great night.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.